And welcome back as I begin to solidify my plan to murder that dude who keeps trying to sell me that online Unity course through Udemy. In Perfidious, Pete plays XCOM, War of the Chosen. And if you watch any kind of YouTube monetized content at all without an ad block, you definitely know that little shit bird I'm talking about. The, did you know programming your own games is easier than you think guy? Yeah, that's the guy. You know the one I'm talking about. And you know what? I'm gonna take a moment to answer your question, asshole. And that answer is that no, I didn't know that programming my own video games was easier than I thought. Because, well, for two reasons. One, programming with any significant level of skill requires an individual to master, like a core group of fundamental concepts. Do you mind I'm talking about programming here, Assassin? And it's something about which I'm more than a little passionate, maybe even more passionate than usual. But programming with any kind of skill requires you to master like a fundamental core group of concepts, and those concepts all build upon each other and interact with each other dynamically, and figuring out the different ways those constructs can combine, and then the benefits and drawbacks of the various combinations of those constructs is a rather abstract process. And it's really something that, like, you're not gonna just like get it. It's something that you can only sort of learn through experience. And the second reason is that game design is an even more abstract process, because rather than using a well-defined set of structures and syntax to produce a result, a game designer works with the entirety of their whole imagination, and they do so in an effort to produce fun, which is in and of itself a rather abstract concept. So you know what, Udemy guy with your little glasses there? No, I didn't know that programming games was easier than I thought, because here I've been foolishly laboring under the assumption that it's a pretty goddamn difficult task that takes thousands upon thousands of hours of learning and effort and blood and sweat and tears to accomplish. And I'm pretty sure that your shitty little 4-hour Udemy course might, at best, teach someone to ape a set of instructions and make another garbage asset flip, which will no doubt wind up cluttering the Steam page in a very, very near future. You know what I'd like to suggest, Udemy guy? Rather than me take your online course, what I would rather do is have you take my online course about how to fucking murder an asinine stranger and get off more scot-free than OJ in a white Bronco. And really, I'm only suggesting it so that when I do murder you, and I will kill you, you slimy little bespectacled dog-water jizz stain, and when I do kill you, I want you to appreciate how skillfully that I have executed my master plan, and the thousands upon thousands of hours of time I spent in study and effort to acquire the skill to get away with murder, so that in your last fleeting moment of life, you realize what a goddamn fraud and a sham that you are, and that you regret how shamefully you squandered your time on this planet. That's what I would like you to do, Udemy man. I would like you to do that. Bunch of bullshit, selling fucking pipe dreams, you bastard. You're... Okay. Enough being salty about the Udemy guy, but that thing really does piss me off, because basically what it's like a course. It's like, hey, did you know it's easy to write a symphony orchestra like Beethoven's Fifth? And then what you get when you give them your money is like instructions on how to play Mary Had a Little Lamb on the piano. Because that's sort of what programming is like. It's a little bit like writing a song. You can teach someone to play an instrument, or rather you can teach them how an instrument functions and introduce them to the concept, but you're never going to teach someone to write a song. It's not a skill that you can teach. It's a skill that you have to learn. Somebody can teach you some fundamental concepts about music, but in the end, when it comes to combining those concepts to make a new piece of art, yeah, you can't teach that. You just kind of got to fuck around with it some until you figure out how it works. Alright, enough me bitching about the Udemy guy, although he really, really does piss me off a lot. Let's slot in these intel rewards and get back to work. I'm gonna put, you know, like the headers around this. I'm putting the close header around the rant there. Open rant, now we got to the close rant. Little XML style coding action there, which more than the fucking Udemy course will teach you. We're going to ignore those supplies for now. Let's finish getting our power, then we'll go hit our... Actually, we have to hit this resource cache of supplies, then we'll circle back over here. We also need to make contact with the new Arctic. We really got a lot on our plate at the moment. We definitely don't want to miss this opportunity for Avenger power. Avatar project, making a little bit of progress. Guess they took that online Unity course and learned to program their own avatar. That's good for us, though, because it means their avatar is going to be a helpless, flailing piece of shit and should be easily destroyed. Alien debris has been cleared. Okay, picked up 45 supplies for that. We already have a power relay. What do we need to build a workshop? Insufficient power. That's actually very funny. How do we... our power relay's not finished. All right, then. We'll come back and stick a workshop in there, and after we finish the workshop, we'll probably stick in an infirmary, too, so we can lower our wound times. 3 extra Avenger power. Well, supply drop is available. Yes, I appreciate the reminder. Thank you. But before we go pick up those supplies, did we get a second engineer yet? Like we did, right?
As it stands, we have people still waiting for an assignment.
Yes, we did. All right.
Working on construction, excavation,
yep. All of those are things which we could have them work on, but what I'd really rather have them do is upgrade the bullpup here, because we finally got our second engineer. We can get our mag weapons. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. We did build a med kit. You know, it wouldn't suck to build a flashbang here either. Let's get one of those on. And now we can go see about what we're actually going to build, which is a workshop. We're going to build it right here. And we're going to have the engineer go ahead and start working on this. Andy Green, get in there. Broken German, you say? I mean, when it comes to, what is it, like, is it Friedrich Nietzsche? He was kind of a broken German. Feels like, you know, maybe just a little bit more love, and he could have really made something. He's one of the greatest philosophers of all time. Pete, you're going to imply that Nietzsche didn't make anything of himself? Okay, sure, but, you know, he didn't really seem very happy. That's all I'm saying. He was no Schopenhauer, of course. Now, there's an unhappy German. How come all the German philosophers are unhappy? Is that just, is that like part of the gig? When you sign up to be a German philosopher, they're like, well, here you go. We're gonna hand you a giant serving of bleak despair. You better embrace it. Advent Officer Autopsy. That's gonna unlock the Skulljack Force, which we do sort of need, but really, I'd much rather get plated armor out of the way. Let's just, you know what? Yeah, let's just do plated armor first. We have something of note. We'll come back to the officer autopsy because we got a lot of prerequisites before we... Bradford, stop interrupting me, okay? It's starting to get on my nerves a little bit. The Iron Giant and Taylor Reese have finished their covert op. Fantastic. All mission timers increased by 2 turns. That's a very good one for us, but now that it's a new month, we may have a promotion available, which we... You gotta be kidding me with the no promotions. Okay, we can get 1 promotion by... Alright, we have to do this then. Richard B. Riddick is tired and can't go. Okay then, we're gonna save that for when Richard B. Riddick is not tired and is ready to go, because we gotta promote Riddick. I don't really want a faction soldier. We could form a bond, which would be useful. Don't want to recruit a Templar, really. What are our other rewards that don't suck? We could get 5 extra willpower. You know what? Recruiting an engineer here is actually pretty useful. It takes 12 days. Recruiting a scientist is also useful. These take a stupefyingly long time, though. Is there any chance of ambush here? No, just a moderate chance that a soldier is wounded. All right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to send Ergen Calliope and our boy... Bej Zeal? I don't know if you're a boy or a girl, and honestly, I don't want to look under the mask to find out. You guys go handle that. Get us a new engineer, because we're going to put them to work in the workshop. We will work hand in hand with our new... And when those 12 days are up, then we're going to take Richard B. Riddick out and get him a promotion. If he hasn't already, sisters are doing it for themselves by then, and gotten his own damn promotion. Riddick really kicked some serious ass on our last mission, and he did one of the whole, you know, sisters are doing it for themselves kind of thing. Anybody else always get the sisters are doing it for themselves song as kind of an anthem for female masturbation? What it always struck me to be like, yeah, sisters are doing it for themselves. I'm like, hell yeah, girl, you do it for yourself. Also, Cyndi Lauper's She-Bop also always kind of seemed like an anthem for masturbation for me. And you know, these are good things. What do we need to build? An infirmary. 115 supplies, which, okay, we're working on the supplies here. We want that infirmary up and going. We have been doing pretty well in the wound department so far. Like, we've kept injuries to a minimum, which I appreciate. Do we go for the resource cache or do we make contact? You know, I think we should probably go ahead and make contact first. Just because the Avatar project is ticking along there and we're going to need some manner of safety valve. We won't have an actual safety valve for a bit. Well, alright. The other reason I really wanted to make contact here is so that we could get a choice when it comes to what covert operation we're going to stop, but instead we're stopping whatever this hidden event is. Advent loot forces a stockpile of extra materials and storage chests near this site. Alright, don't hate that anyway. Let's go do it. We gotta get Riddick back in action. Richard B. Riddick. More like Richard B. Badass. And it looks like he's gonna be... Is Riddick still tired? You can't still be tired. Riddick! Come on, bro. Well, that means we don't want to take Calder Hunter, so we'll have to take Dominic Toretto then. Turop and Groot are also out, which means it's gonna be Taylor Reese, the Iron Giant. Jackie Denorcio. And somebody else has to go on this mission. Somebody like with an... Din Exorcist. He's just a squatty. We actually forgot to fire a trooper. We were supposed to do that. Fire one trooper, name a new trooper. Maybe we could get by with old Calder here. Yeah, he also needs the EXP. If we can get one of these guys also promoted, what the hell was that, Pete? I don't know, my brain is fucking falling apart. But if we can get one of these guys also promoted, we could likewise send them out on that covert operation as well. Like, we're not shoehorned in. Let's make utility items available, make weapons available. Pete, why are you making weapons available? Well, we did actually, in between episodes, go give ourselves a little bit of weapon upgradage here. Dominic Toretto's rocking an upgraded bull. So you already got an upgraded weapon. That's cool. What about you, Scourge? It looks like you're toting something. Perhaps? No, you are not. Well, what's available? Advanced scope and a hair trigger? Sold. Give that to Kyle Reese. Or Taylor Reese. Kyle Reese? Taylor Reese? Did you guys ever think about the fact that maybe Taylor Reese was a descendant of Kyle Reese? Like, maybe John Connor wasn't his only son. Maybe Kyle Reese had another kid. It never even crossed my mind. What if he had a twin? What if he had a brother? What if the knock-around guy was gonna ultimately be the second in charge of the Resistance when Skynet reaches sentience and takes over? It could totally happen. Doesn't really explain why he was like a New Jersey mobster, though. Also, he's a little time displaced, too, because he was a New Jersey mobster, like, in the late 90s, early 2000s. Which makes him way too old for Sarah Connor, because she was, like, gave birth in, like, 1984. So she'd had to give birth to that kid 15 years later. That seems like a pretty extended timeline. Also, Reese would have been dead around that timeline as well. So maybe he would have had to come back in time again. Now we're getting to like a Terminator Salvation kind of, we change the timeline every time we need to retcon this shit sort of scenario. And apart from the inclusion of Summer Glau, there's not really much good about Terminator Salvation. Pete, what are you talking about? It had Lena Headey in it. Okay, I mean, yeah, she was a pretty decent Sarah Connor, not gonna lie, but it's a good thing that show ended because she then became Cersei Lannister, who I think we'll all agree is probably a more interesting character than Sarah Connor. Yeah. Yeah, well, maybe them materials are gonna fall off a truck, and maybe Jackie Denorcio will take that truck and drive it to Lufthansa. Then he'll put it on a cargo freighter and sell it to the Don. You ever think about that? Jackie got bills to pay. If I'm gonna get charged under the RICO Act, I might as well do something worthy of getting charged, if you know what I'm saying. Jackie D'Norcio actually turned into fucking Jackie Gleason there at the end of that. The impression kind of went sideways on me.
I must run.
He went from, like, serious mobster to sort of like a goofball, and we're busted as hell.
I knew their patrols.
How did they not spot us? You know what? I don't care how they did it. I'm just glad they did it. So what do we want to do here? I mean, we kind of got to go at these guys. Do we have anybody who has the bigger booms? Iron Giant, Taylor Reese, anybody? Nope. D'Norcio has lightning reflexes. All right, chuck it then. Hurl that bomb down there. We'll get some damage. We'll shred a little armor as well. This won't even end Jackie's turn, so we can maybe get some solid damage on a follow-up shot. This robot's going to be a little tough. It's good that we started with the shred. We can't use Justice on either of these targets because neither one is humanoid. Oh, don't worry. The vulnerabilities aren't going to be too hard to find. This guy's just standing in the open waiting to die. Ha ha ha! Jackie D'Norcio takes him out gangland style. Straight up executed the Holmes. He's like, yeah, you know what? Turns out I used to be a fucking button man for the outfit. Before I got brought up on this whole Rico rap, Jackie D'Norcio was the #1 button man. I don't know what the Iron Giant did to that man, but he seemed to have been very swiftly killed. I appreciate your efforts. That was helpful. I think we may have executed him as well. I put a couple repeaters on some of our gear, and it looks like so far those repeaters are paying some dividends. We still got to get over here and shut this network node down, though. 7 turns, Pete. Clock's ticking.
I await their approach.
Can't take too terribly long, but also we can get a little bonus speed if we want to, just throw in some grapples around.
I am watching.
Let's wait and see what we got. And there's our chosen friend. Well, this just got a little more difficult. Low profile, immune to melee damage. Immune to melee damage is less relevant for us than it was in our last campaign. And also, this is going to sound strange, but I'm kind of glad that the Chosen that got immune to melee damage is one of the first ones we're going to fight. Because ultimately, we are going to get either Blade Storm or Blade Storm-like ability. And I'd prefer to make maximum use of that later in the campaign. Reese has discovered an enemy. Alright, there's an evil snake man over there, and we don't like that at all.
What a strange compliment it must be for you.
The Purifier is less of an issue for us. Come on, hurry up, Viper. Come over here and get killed. We can definitely get either of these Advent Troopers pretty much at will, but the Viper is going to be an interesting conundrum. So how do we want to handle this? We could come up here, have you just take a flank shot at the Viper. That seems pretty useful. Who else is going to be able to get flank shots at the Viper? Toretto? We can have you just, like, flick the grapple.
I take a new approach.
Get a little extra movement here. Flick the grapple. And that leaves you with the double flanker. Do we... What's your chance here? How come only 57%? That guy is technically not flanked, huh? Intriguing. So there's a couple different ways we could do this. What's our justice chance here? 100% at the Purifier, but 79% at that, man. Here's what we're going to do then. Take the shot. First off, light up the Snake Man. Yeah, Snaky Jim gets shot in the head. Plus extra ability point for our boy. And then we could Wrath to the Snake Man and kill him, but I think what I'd much rather do... Let's see, it's a little lower percentage. Let's see if we can yank this Purifier. Yep, we got him. Dominic Toretto's going to gut him like a fish. And you're done, son. Get ruined.
They fall just as they serve, without question or regret.
What do you got here, Scourge? 99% chance for the kill here. I like what you're putting down. You're not going to be able to move, so it makes having you go for like a Wrath attack or to pull that guy. He's going to wind up right next to you if we pull him, and we don't really want that. Go ahead and kill the Viper. A vastly more dangerous foe, and now a vastly more dead foe. Now we got to come up with something we can do to this last dude. We need a way to yank him, but also not be near him at the end of the turn. The other thing we could potentially do, and I think probably what we are going to do, is just try and overwatch this man. We're going to discourage him from advancing on us and getting close enough to hit us with that flamethrower with just a rather largish array of overwatch. I don't suppose you can grapple. Oh, you can. Grapple to here, then. Never tell Jackie what he can and can't do. Jackie decides what Jackie does. You understand, Pete? Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? Jackie D'Annunzio is a self-actualized man, like Nietzsche spoke of in Thus Spoke Zarathustra. Nietzsche talks about the self-actualized man. Jackie D'Annunzio has actually achieved that actualization. And I know that was a double actually, but that's how much I'm actualized. Well, we figured she'd go for our lonesome. Alright, our little lonesome dove over there. It's fine. We're dazed. We can get around it.
You will join your compatriots.
Yeah, whatever. Do your stupid bending read and get out of my face.
Opportunity to redeem myself. I will not be so easily defeated again.
I don't know, lady. I mean, you were fairly easily defeated last time. Although, I gotta admit that the summoning a bunch of dudes next to our boy is a little inconvenient. We should be getting some Overwatch off that summon. Great shot. Anybody else gonna open up here? No? Okay.
One of our soldiers is in a daze.
Yeah, I'm working on it.
Snap him out of it.
Who can grapple over there? Anybody? Somebody? Can grapple? Nope. I really want someone with the grapple action to be able to just grapple over and stand next to him. Aha! Exactly what we wanted. Perfect. The Iron Giant. Ask and you shall receive. The Iron Giant is a baby saver. We'll be like, hey, there's a baby over there and we need to save it. And the Iron Giant's like, don't worry, Bo, I got you. I will save Dominic Toretto from himself. See, now he is saved. Dom, you want to check a grenade for us, bud? You can't because you're disoriented and you don't have one. Scourge, I don't suppose you can flick to the other side. Yes, you can. So we have an idea where our little friend, the assassin, has gone. We're going to see if we can take Taylor Reese over there and get up in her grill. She's like over here. She is in that tile right there. So what we want to do then is maybe chuck an explosive at it. Like here should be fine. This is more for cover destruction than it is for any other purpose. I mean, the extra damage is nice too. She does take bonus damage from skirmishers. And then you should probably, I mean, yes, I know you have a flank shot on that guy, but you should probably just shoot her. That was brutally beautiful.
I won't be slowed by your feeble attacks.
I mean, one, our attacks don't really seem thus far too terribly feeble, and two, they're very definitely slowing you down. We shot that man so hard we bounced him off the wall like a fucking pinball machine. So we just need you to be able to see the assassin. Anywhere you can go where you can see her? Can you make that happen? No, you cannot. What else we got over here? Judge, get a shot? I mean, you can, and it's a flanker. We got to be able to get you a better shot, though. I bet if we come over here, we can then grapple over and get ourselves a much closer shot. Yeah, that's what we're looking for right there. Get the grapple zone one. A boy hunter in the house. Excuse me? Our boy Hunter can't actually get the job done, so grenade time it is then. See you in hell, bitch. Oh, she also takes bonus damage from grenades, too. She's shell-shocked. Perfect. 5 ability points for us. Assassin is dead. She's gonna come and taunt us posthumously.
It would have been unthinkable that I might ever fall in battle. Now it appears you have bested me once again.
Well, I'm glad to have changed your opinion on the way the world works, lady.
Great job, Commander. But there's no trace of that chosen left.
Don't worry about the trace of the chosen. The only thing we're caring about is the trace of this loot that Jackie just found on the ground. They say I got a hair trigger, and they ain't talking about the one on my gun. They're talking about my explosive, violent temper. There's a reason Jackie wound up in the clink, and it ain't because he was a nice guy.
secured.
Is it secured, Bradford? Because if it is, I'm going to take a bit of a risk here and dash up. Grab this loot, too. Hey, looks like a laser sight done fell off of the truck as well. Everything's coming up Jackie. Although, I gotta say, you know, my experience with the Rico scenario, Pete, maybe you want to be careful, because technically if Jackie down here steals this laser sight, anybody else who's involved in said laser sight stealing also potentially vulnerable to prosecution. Rico's some serious bullshit, Pete. If they can prove that this is like an organized thing, we all going down together. That's how you know ain't nobody got a case on you, Pete. When they charge you under Rico, that means they ain't got a case. They got no evidence. Yes, John, you may have mentioned that like literal seconds ago, but it took us a second to get up here to the workstation so we could hack it. 5% chance for a facility lead or a 6% chance for a broadcast. Well, I don't like our chances. And what a surprise. The witch hunter has failed to successfully interact with a computer system. Considering the fact that he's a witch hunter, he's probably not fully versed in modern conveniences. On the plus side, we did manage to burn a shadow demon at the stake, so say what you want about our witch hunter. In this case, he did pay the bills, getting them witches hunted. Probably it was just an excuse to burn a young woman who rebuffed his romantic advances alive at the stake, like most of the witch trials were, but... Taylor Reese dealing the most damage. A new damage per attack record, probably the result of our new weapons, almost exclusively. Glad to have the mag rifles on board. We need to get a mag rifle upgrade or some bullpup upgrades with the breakthrough. That'd be nothing short of huge for us. Corporal Reese picking up that promo. Jackie D'Norcio is rocketing up the ranks, man. Zero in. No, we're going to go ahead and take Wrath. I'm tempted to spend some of those ability points on lightning reflexes. I do like it. D'Norcio, what do you got? All right, you're going to grab some Wrath as well. You already have lightning reflexes. Maybe we hold off. Yeah, you know what? Let's hold off a little bit. Our boy Dominic Toretto took a little bit of a scuff there from the sucker punch. Got tossed his way. It's like that scene in Fast and the Furious where The Rock really lays one on him. Just, you know, he's like, well, okay, everybody gets one. And that's it, though. You got your one, you're done now. Just to help out in that respect, let's go ahead and start building an infirmary here. Get that up and running. It's going to be 21 days. That's more than a little while. But as soon as our workshop finishes, we can take this guy, Andre Green. We'll have him go be permanent in the infirmary. And then we can stick some gremlins elsewhere. Honestly, we might just put a gremlin in the infirmary for the moment. We do need to get somebody staffed the resistance ring full-time as well. But we're, you know, but don't exactly roll in an engineer over here. Wish I was rolling an engineer. She could be my sugar mama. That's right, I said she. Just because it's an engineer doesn't mean it can't be a lady. Get more ladies in the sciences and engineering. Also, let's get more ladies in Perfidious Pete's life, especially those with high-paying engineering jobs, because I'm looking for a sugar mama. You can take care of me. I'll be a stay-at-home, not dad. Don't tell me about grit. You say they make up for in grit, but that's just because Vin Diesel has a tendency to, you know, like grind his teeth a little bit. There's grit in his teeth. It's not a good thing. He has to wear a dental appliance at night. I also have to wrap up this episode because I'm talking about dental appliances and teeth grinding. If you enjoyed it, feel free to drop a like down in the comment section. Support really does mean a lot. If you'd like to see more Fast and Furious action, you might consider subscribing as well. Turns out the skirmishers may be a little better than I was giving them credit for. I thought this was going to be a relatively difficult run, but thus far, they've been pulling their own. They've been holding it together, like Dominic Toretto holding together his family. I mean, largely, he didn't really hold together his family too terribly well. So like got involved in a life of crime, and a lot of them wound up serving time. Paul Walker didn't make it out alive. Maybe it's not a good thing. Either way, I'm done. Thanks for watching. I'll see you again soon.